Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello everybody, welcome to our Success Thursday, and this week we have with us Kulsoom Pervez. Hey Kulsoom, welcome back.
Hey Vasco, pleasure to be back again.
So Thursday is of course the big question of the week, and we'll talk all about that in a minute. But before that, do share with us, when it comes to retrospectives, what's your favorite retrospective format and why?
Another difficult question for me because I am a huge believer in the power of retrospectives, and I change my formats a lot because I feel the teams get bored with the same format, right? If you serve same food to anyone, obviously they'll get bored. So I just try to make my retros a little fun also, even if just for 5 minutes by having an icebreaker or anything. I've tried almost most of the formats which are available, like Mad Sat Plat, Sailboat, and 3Ls. I sometimes even come up with my own. But one of the formats which I really like is Value Retrospectives, where everyone discusses one or two personal values which are most important to them. And then out of all the values listed, the team collectively picks up few values that are important to them as a team, and then retrospect whether we performed according to them or not. And sometimes this could also be connected to Scrum values. Like we say that, hey, did we perform according to the Scrum values? And I especially find this powerful for either new teams or teams that have undergone a change recently. Like say a new member has joined or left the team, or maybe a major organizational level change is happening and people are a little shaken up or something. So, that's a good time to take them back to their core values, because this allows people to be vulnerable and also realize whether the actions are in sync with what matters to them. Because when we perform according to our values, I think we become more successful.
And what you just said about understanding that the actions are in sync or they are aligned with the things we value. This is very important because, of course, the lack of this leads to demotivation, disengagement, yes, and eventually even burnout if you go far enough, right? So I really like that perspective that sometimes we talk about values as a way to motivate people, as a way to kind of bring them together, kind of create a feeling of team. But that aspect of making sure that what we are doing is aligned with what we say we would like to do. I mean, that's critical for our growth as humans and, of course, for the growth of the team in their journey to high performance.
Very true. Yes.
And is there any, when you talk about this, specifically this part of aligning values and actions, is there an approach, a facilitation approach that you use to help the team kind of look at the values, not defined because those are defined already, but rather to look at the values and look at their actions and kind of do a little bit of critical thinking? Are these aligned or not?
I don't have any kind of documented approach as such. It's just open conversation, and I think it flows organically very well. Maybe sometimes I just have to explain what are values to some people, because some people they might already be aware of what is a value, and then their values are already clear to them. Some people might not be. So for them, I usually just give them an overview of what a value is and what are some common values. So just show them a slide or something, and then let them pick. And again, as I said, Vasco, we use and for data collection purpose, we use a tool like Miro, Mural, whatever it is. That works well. But overall, I give the agency to the team, and usually it flows very well.
Yeah, and so in that sense, also be ready to facilitate the conversation, and I think that's that's an important aspect. Of course, that is the retro, but we run retros because we hope to help the teams achieve success so that we may achieve success as well. So share with us, Kulsoom, what's your definition of success for yourself as a Scrum Master?
So for me, Vasco, the biggest criteria as a Scrum Master, success criteria as a Scrum Master, is that everyone in my team feels empowered to speak up, challenge the status quo or things which are not right, and focus on our success as a team. Because I always tell my teams that everyone is a leader, right? So, and that's what we want people to feel empowered and uh, behave as a leader. And also when people are happy doing their work. And for me, it's measured not just by happiness metric. I've used happiness metric also, but that metric sometimes can be very subjective to a team member's poor mood or maybe just having a bad day, find at home or something. So not only take that, but overall happiness is like when people in the team, they can be their goofy selves. If you can see some banter, some jokes float around in meetings, people are openly asking questions that, hey, I don't understand this. Could you please explain? They're not silent in refinements or other events. Or they openly say, hey, I'm stuck on this task. Can anyone help me? And the other person say, oh, yeah, I'm done with my story. Let me help you. Let me give you a call. So all these are signs for me that, yeah, team is on right track.
So one of the things that really I think is important for all of us to be mindful about is how do we evaluate if the team feels empowered to speak up? I'll give a concrete example, right? Like there are certain things we all think we can speak up about. Like, okay, so we delivered this feature, but the test environment wasn't ready. That's easy to talk about if it's not our responsibility, right? Like that's also speaking up, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a speaking up that is productive. It's a speaking up that kind of projects responsibility outside, right? So a question that is interesting for me is, how about helping the team speak up about what's not going so well in their own way of acting, right? So like, how do you keep like the finger in the pulse that the team is not just complaining, as in speaking up about other things that need to be solved, outside the team boundaries, but they are actually genuinely speaking up with the intention of improving things overall?
No, that's a very good segue, Vasco, because sometimes in the sake of saying the speak up, retro sessions, they do turn up into venting sessions. So you're right. In fact, I did face this problem with one of the teams which you talked about earlier, the team which could not succeed. So I always remind my teams, if I ever sense them going into this complaining mode and all, that to separate things, what are in our influence and what is not. And the things which are in our influence, what can we do to change them? Because again, we might not able to change the whole organization, but hey, as a team, we are here. We have that agency. We have that um, opportunity to have this discussion and take some concrete steps. So sometimes, teams do need this reminder, which we as Scrum Masters have to give them, that let's not just give responsibility to others. Let's take some ownership of our actions and how can we be better? And again, that continuous improvement mindset is very important.
Are they speaking as owners or are they speaking as orderers, right? Like somebody else needs to change, right?
Right.
And then the other aspect you mentioned, which I really liked, is the team focusing on the success as a team, right? What are the signs? What are the kind of the things you look for to check if they really are indeed focusing on success as a team?
So for this, again, like say a team member is stuck on a story, working on some task, and the other team members, are they interested in helping them out or say that, hey, this is a sprint goal and this is what we need to make it, achieve it. I see that you are stuck on this. Let me give you a head, rather than maybe putting a new story or rather than doing things which makes them a superhero, because a superhero approach is very detrimental to the overall team success. So that's something which I always am observing for. And I also encourage when I see this kind of behavior where people are helping us team member rather than trying to be a superhero. So I appreciate this openly, because then people get a signal that, oh, they're doing something right. So And also, I think as a team success, they take interest in, say, a small thing like crafting the sprint goal, or in retros, they are talking about, hey, these are the things which probably our team could do better. So here is an idea that I have. What do you think about this? So openly bring their ideas to the team. So I think these are few of the things, Vasco, which I can think of right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's important for us to pay attention to, because ultimately, talking about the things we can control and things we can't, ultimately, we don't control the team, right? Like they need to make their decisions. But of course, it's our job to understand where are they going to, right? What are they progressing towards? And, if that is the right thing, then fine. If not, then let's have a conversation about it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for
we
sharing
have to be
that.
Their compass.
That's a great, that's a great metaphor. We have to be their compass, and we can't unless we show them the north.
Right. Yes.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Vasco. Pleasure to have this conversation.
Part of a successful Scrum Master job is to help the product owner. Tomorrow we explore that critical role in Scrum, the product owner role. Tune in to learn about product owner anti-patterns, what you can do to help the product owner, and a real-life example of what a great product owner is and what made it so. Tomorrow on our Friday Product Owner episode. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.